Welcome to Pass the Turn. This is another Magic the Gathering Monday session, and we're cracking on with the MTG Challenge podcast. I'm here with my co-host Josh.
Hello.
There he is,
Every time.
and it's just a continuation. This is the last one in this particular series. We do have a podcast in the future. Thinking of doing one on the War of the Spark paintings, like all
Oh
the
my god, have you seen the video for War of the Spark?
Oh
The
no,
one
I
that
saw.
came out.
No, I saw on the Facebook that there's like an animated video, but I haven't watched it yet.
Oh my god, it's ridiculously good. It is awesome.
Yeah, I need to
Oh, it's
watch that after this.
sick.
But yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I've seen the stained glass window one, but that was just a teaser ages ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, this
Um,
actual trailer is awesome.
I'll have to probably go through that trailer as well as the stained glass then when we do the podcast on the War of the Spark one. Make
Yeah,
some
100%.
make some notes on that. Cool. But yeah, back today doing the last third of the MTG challenge. We've done from day 1 to day 20 so far, and now we're on day 21. So we'll just kick it off with day 21, which is a underrated card. So a card that you feel doesn't get enough love, or something that you like that other people don't think is great, or something like that. So you can start off with what you've got written down for that underrated card.
So mine is a general thing, so it's counter spells in general.
Ah,
None of us really play counter spells. The only person that does is Leo.
yeah.
And this channel hasn't seen his deck yet. So on our channel at the moment, we pretty much I don't think we've seen a single counter spell.
No. Yeah, I've got a few in my Arix Mechthis Leviathan deck, but again, I haven't used it. I don't think the channel's seen much of it really recently. Since we've
No.
upgraded all of our decks, the channel hasn't really seen that part of it yet. So, but yeah. I mean, that's interesting because on day 22, that's what my overrated card is counter spells. But obviously, we can get to that when we get to it. But yeah, they are really good. You might as well just. I was gonna say I'm gonna try and meld it into day 22, but I don't want to give my point now as such. But yeah,
No, go for it. No, go for it.
so yeah, so day 22 is overrated cards. So off the back of the underrated card, which is your counter spell, I would say counter spells are overrated because you can't win with it. You can screw someone else's plan over, but you can't win by countering someone's deck, especially in a four-player game. You can't.
No,
You can't.
exactly.
It's like you need to have a deck with 60, 120. You need to have a deck with 240 cards in it in order to utilize a deck worth of counter spells if you're playing a four-player game. Because
Yeah, you. I mean, that's the thing. You'd have to come up with ways to untap your lands and always have a counter spell in hand.
yeah, but if you're trying to counter three people's spells around the table, you're not going to have much of a deck left if you're trying to run that sort of strategy. It
Yeah,
is
exactly.
it is good, but you can't rely on the counter spell. It's good to screw over someone else's turn, but then you're left open to the other person's turn.
Yeah,
So it's yeah.
I think counter spells are better in Commander at stopping someone affecting your board state.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
That's different, I think.
I've got one or two. I think I've got one or two in my deck, but then that's it. That's all I need because I know that I can keep it back if I want to play a massive turn. I can just make sure that turn goes off, and I can counter someone else's response rather than trying to have a deck full of them.
Yeah, I agree. The way I use my counter spells in my Cascade deck is they all have a second function. Like one of them is creates mana. The other
Yeah.
one is I can cast a spell from their hand.
What's
Or another one is that I counter I counter their spell and then I can play a card of that type from my hand.
Oh wow. Have you got the
It's
names
quite
of
cool.
those so I can display them on the screen? So I don't know
Oh
what
yeah,
the
I'll just dig them out for you.
is the mana one the what's it called spell swindle where it creates treasures.
Yes, Spell Swindle
Ah yeah.
is the mana one. Let's see what I got here. Gosh, digging through a deck here now. We've got
There's also mana drain as well, which is ridiculously good.
yeah, Mana Drain is similar to the other one. So the other one is Counter Lash. Counter target spell. You may cast a non-land card in your hand that shares a card type with with that spell without paying its mana cost.
Oh wow, without paying its mana cost, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's the Cascade deck, which does need to feature on the channel at some point, but
Yeah,
won't won't yet.
it's just
That's a
making
very
making
quick
sure we
deck,
film it effectively because obviously it's a lot
and
going off.
being faster at playing it.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. So yeah, just counter spells in general. I think are overrated in a sense, as long as you don't try and build a deck based on them. But yeah, again, that's your underrated card is counter spell. But yeah, it's contradicting points there really.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, no, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the funny thing. I think that we don't use them enough, but I think they're for a specific use. Um,
maybe that's what it is. Then maybe we haven't seen decks that are utilising it properly yet,
no, exactly.
and maybe Leo's
I
is.
mean, when they're like Kozilek is just insane when he works, goes off
Oh
on it,
yeah,
but
yeah,
it's just timing, and I think that an actual counterspell doesn't do anything. Like you said, if you're stopping everyone from doing anything, you need to have the biggest board for it at the same time. You need to be swinging with a Stormtide Leviathan
yeah.
every time or something like that.
Oh wow. Yeah, I recently got a Storm Tide as well after realising I didn't have one. I just got one in the end. So they're not.
Oh, fair enough.
It's only a bulk rare. It's not very expensive, is it really?
No, it's not. No, I do have a couple of them. You could have had one.
But he's just horrible when he gets out. Bless him.
What's your underrated card?
Our underrated card is just one that I'm always happy to look to have in my starting hand in mono green decks, and is Scoop Mob,
Oh yeah, Scoop Mob's cool.
because it's just a nice green 1-drop 1/1. But then if he's left out long enough, he can become more powerful as time goes on.
Exactly. He's easy
Um,
to forget about.
yeah, so it's easy to forget about, and then suddenly you're getting hit with a ridiculous creature. Especially, he has become ridiculous when I've been doing run throughs of my Vorel commander deck when he can
Oh
double the
yeah.
counters on him. That's been running quite well in Ford recently with the new additions like Hydroid Krasis and all that lot.
Oh yeah. Yes,
Um,
that's cool.
yeah, so yeah, Scoop
It's
Mob.
difficult when you play it with Forge because you're playing one versus one, and I feel like a lot of decks that we have are functioning better 1v1.
Yeah,
But in big group games, you have these sudden different things. It's like, for example, the 3-player game we had, um, and I just didn't draw the right lands, getting mana screwed. It was just a couple of turns is all it takes to be too far behind to come back.
yeah. Free player games are quite swingy though, aren't they? It's not like
Yeah,
if one person's getting ganged up on by the two others,
yeah.
then yeah, it's
Their
just
life is, yeah,
hard to balance free player games sometimes.
yeah, definitely.
Um, but yeah, that was my underrated card, Scoop Mob. I did have a slash Deadly Recluse as well, but I think everyone knows he's pretty good.
Yeah, no, it's
Um,
an awesome card.
but yeah, so that was my underrated one. So now going on to day 22, which is an overrated card. So again, mine was the counter spells. Maybe that's because I just experienced them a lot when I played Magic a long time ago. Everyone was using counter spells. Joad was using so many counter spells and stuff that was just disrupting your game, but it wasn't really helping his game as a result.
No, you need to
Um,
stick something, and that's the risk you play when you play a counter game. You basically need to stick something early that can evolve and get better
yeah,
whilst you counter more things. So ideally, you need to be like dropping something on like turn 1, turn 2, like a new card called Petramanda or something like that, where it can evolve.
yeah.
Um, for how many cards you have in your graveyard, it costs instant sorceries. It costs less, so you would just exile that, and you still have your mana up for a counter spell.
Yeah, you should have to have something out on the board. You can't just be sat there trying to counter everyone's spells because eventually you're going to get
Exactly.
swung at. So you still need something there. But yeah, that was my overrated. What was your overrated?
My overrated is Soul Ring.
Oh yeah,
Mostly, I think. Well, it's not that it's a bad card. It's a great card. It's just that it takes up a space, and everyone does it because if you don't, you could get far behind.
yeah,
But I mean, I feel like in a lot of my decks I took Soul Rings out because there's just always a better option. Like if you think about it, if you're playing Soul Ring, I play 5-color decks, so it's basically unavailable mana for me, just not very usable
yeah,
most of the time. It also wastes up potentially a removal slot, which is more important. Like Sol Ring is best on turn 1 or turn 2, maybe turn 3,
Yeah,
and then after that you don't want to draw it.
that's it. Yeah, if you draw it sort of, turn 8 or turn 9, you're like, oh, what's my next card? Soul Ring. That's gonna do nothing for you at that stage of the game.
Exactly. What's a Sol Ring gonna do when you're staring down like an army of giant adiphages?
Yeah, there's nothing you can do against that really, with a Soul Ring. Yeah, I agree in that sense. I mean, I do love, everyone loves having it in their starting hand, but anything,
Yeah.
anything other than that, turn 4 or 5, after that is useless really, because you've probably
Yeah.
ramped anyway by that stage, or got more rocks out that do better things.
I mean, I would probably run it in like if I decided to make a mono black Infect Scrithix like the Black Dragon as the commander,
Yeah,
then Sol Ring would definitely be in that.
yeah,
But multicolored, I don't need it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Day 23 is an expensive card you own, so you can kick this one off with an expensive card that you own.
Mine is Ugin, the Spirit Dragon.
Ugin,
That's
oh
it.
yeah, he was
Yeah.
once upon a time fairly priced, but now he's just gone up in price as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I got him when he was still pretty pricey at 20 quid, but now he's like 50 something pounds, and it's just madness. People pay a lot of money for him. I mean, he is a really, a really good card, and obviously not reprinted yet, but um, yeah, it's just unbelievable the price of him.
Yeah, he's
He's
just,
so sick though.
oh yeah, he's ridiculous. He's got some ridiculous abilities as well.
I
Just,
mean, they actually won me a game earlier on against Leo. I was staring down a Teferi and a Narset, and Leo, fortunately, only had 2 mana open, and he only had, he had no answers in hand, but he had an Isochron Scepter with something to bounce something. Um, but he sort of misplayed and didn't see how much mana I had. He bounced the thing that I was going to use. I ended up sacrificing it, getting out Ugin, and then it was just like, all right, I'm gonna minus, just kill everything of his.
yeah,
All of my stuff sat, and well, they were just all exiled. And then from that point, I was just gaining my advantage, dropping bigger threats, and that was it. Like I think he's just such a turnaround for most decks.
yeah, he's just one of those cards that can just change your game all the time, really. Yeah, he's quality. You love him, don't you, Ugin?
Yeah, I love it. If I've got him, get a chance to play him.
Yeah, he was on the
Love it,
previous
life.
video as well. I think he was on the first one when we was talking about I can't remember what we was talking about now, but he was definitely in the first video, Ugin.
Yeah.
Expensive card that I own is lands, Yavimaya Hollow and Volrath Stronghold, which are both
Oh yeah.
ridiculously expensive lands. Yavimaya Hollow is just a tap, add 1 colourless mana, or tap a green and tap it to regenerate target creature, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. It's expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, Yavimaya Hollow, and then Volrath Stronghold again, which is another recursion card. Taps to add 1 colourless mana. You can pay 1 black and 1 other, and tap it and put target creature card from your graveyard back on top of your library, so you can get those effects again and again and again, which is ridiculous as well.
It's awesome.
But yeah, Volrath Stronghold.
Who is Volrath?
I don't know actually. I'm not sure if he is even a legendary creature. To be fair.
Oh yeah, there is one. Volrath the Fallen.
Volrath the Fallen.
It's a legend.
Right.
1 colorless and 1 black. Discard a creature card from your hand. Volrath gets +X/+X to the end of turn. What X that discarded card's converted mana cost. He is a 6 mana 6/4.
All right. Interesting. I'll have a look at that as well. I'll display that on the screen as well. Volrath. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what sort of activities he was doing in his stronghold, but it was resurrecting things and putting them back into your library, which is great.
Very cool. Volrath was a Vule, was a human from Dominaria who later became the shapeshifting Phyrexianized leader of Wrath. Pretty cool.
Love Phyrexian stuff. It's great.
Yeah, me too. They released some spoilers for the War of the Spark.
Oh yeah.
And there are some sick cards in there. Some sick mechanics coming back, like Proliferate, and
really? Let's have a look at that.
another one I can't remember. But also they brought a new one, which is called Amass or something like that.
All right.
And essentially, it is like if you've got a mass 5, you put a +1/+1 counter on an army creature you control. If you do not control an army creature, you create a 0/0 zombie, and then you put the 5 counters on it. Very cool.
That's interesting.
And if you see the video, that's what they look like. They look sick.
I'll have to have a look at that in a bit. So day 24 is a nostalgic card that you own. So I'm not sure whether I've lost track of who said what or what have you. So if you just start with...
You went, yeah, I went first last time, so this time it's your turn to go first. But I don't mind going if you want to.
Yeah, go on then. Yeah, you kick it off then. Nostalgic
So
card.
mine is Creekwood Liege. Now I used to use this in my old Golgari deck with Lot Left Troll and Dreg Mangler and I think it was Corrosive Guildmage. Loved it. That was my bread and butter Golgari deck.
Was that with Corpse Jack Menace as well?
Yeah. No, that's what it evolved into eventually with Protea, Primordial Hydras and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Hardened Scales.
Oh, was you running that back in those days?
But yeah, Creekwood Liege. I just love it because it. Yeah. It's a Creekwood Liege is like it gives both black and green creatures +1/+1. So what each color.
Yeah.
And then it also spews out a 1/1 little worm, but not to be not a big beast, a worm, literally a maggot sort of size worm, but it becomes a 3/3. So
that's right. Yeah.
It's pretty powerful.
You're getting those every turn as well, aren't you? Basically, 3/3s.
Yeah, upkeep. Yeah.
And then all your other black and green creatures get +1/+1 as well, which is great.
Yeah, each. Yeah, so black creatures get +1/+1 and green creatures get +1/+1.
Yeah, I do love the lieges. I run a Merc Fiend liege, which is the green and blue version, and then Ashenmoor liege and Scorpion God deck. Their lieges are quality, especially for those dual colours.
They are really good, yeah. Oh, 100%.
Highly rate that. But yeah, that just goes back to the old Bristol days again, doesn't it? Audience has probably heard the Bristol days being branded here and there, but that's just one of those cards again that relate back to that whole discovery of it for you.
Oh, 100%.
Isn't it, really? Nice.
Yeah, discovery of Magic, Bristol days, lots of Magic being played then, pretty much every night.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. Nostalgic card for me would be a card called Stone Tongue Basilisk. Odyssey it was. Very old set.
Odyssey?
Yeah. So he's a 4/5 and he costs 3 forests and 4 others to play. So a ridiculous mana cost. But this was the tits back in the day. So he's a 4/5. Whenever he deals combat damage to a creature, destroy that creature at the end of combat. So basically pseudo Death Touch before Death Touch was a thing.
Yeah, old school Death Touch, yeah.
Yeah. And then there was an ability on there as well called Threshold, which means Threshold would activate if you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard. And then he then basically became enchanted with Lure, which means all creatures able to block the Stone Tongue Basilisk do so. So then he would...
Yeah, so you can clear off a whole board potentially.
Yeah, and that was just... Back in the day, that was great. And Wayne England, the guy who illustrated the Stone Tongue Basilisk, did also all like the dragon cards, and all of his illustrations are quite similar. So I'll splash up some of his illustrations now, and we all love that sort of artwork.
Yeah. I mean, it's completely different, the artwork back then to now, isn't it, really?
He was one of the major...
It's more focused around the actual creature rather than background behind it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like a lot of cards now, it could be called like Human Determinator, and it'll literally just be a nice background photo and then just a couple of random humans. But yeah, no, it's yeah.
Yeah, that was one of my nostalgic cards, and you'll see another Wayne England card or Wayne England illustrated card come up again in this very list in a moment, actually. But that was my nostalgic card, and everyone used to run it as well. Everyone used to run green. Everyone used to use it because it was sick back in those days.
Yeah.
So Stone Tongue Basilisk. So that was day 24, nostalgic card. Day 25 is a card that makes you sad. So I'll just kick this off because obviously talking about Wayne England illustrations, and this is exactly the same. Another Wayne England illustration, which is World Gorger Dragon.
World Gorger Dragon. I'm going to Google this at the same time.
Yeah. So if you have two tabs open and look at the artwork between Stone Tongue Basilisk and World Gorge Dragon, you'll see that it's pretty much exactly the same face and exactly the same tongue.
Oh yeah, it is. Why is that? That's strange.
Exactly the same, isn't it? It's weird.
Huh.
So yeah, so Wayne
That's
England
quite cool,
again.
actually.
It is, yeah. You should do like the serpents and that as well for the same block in Odyssey. The serpents look quite similar as well. Same sort of tongue, like spiked tongue.
Interesting. I'm gonna have a look at his art.
Yeah, Wayne England, his name is. But yeah, the art back in the day was awesome. But yeah, World Gorge Dragon makes me sad because I used to be playing it wrong all the time. 7/7 Flying Trample for 6 mana, which back in the day we thought, oh, that's ridiculously good. But then we just weren't playing the when it comes into play, remove all other permanents you control from the game. We didn't know what
Yeah.
we didn't know what permanents were back in the day.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
did,
No, that's fair enough. Like when you're children, you're like, I don't have a permanent. This doesn't say permanent.
no,
So
exactly.
you have no idea what it is. Yeah. Totally.
that's-
Like complete misunderstanding, misconception. But
Yeah,
I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, you phase out everything that you own
yeah,
until he's gone, and it leaves the battlefield. So
yeah.
pretty good.
I was reading a few infinite combos of this the other day in a Lizolda Blood Witch commander deck, and there was some pretty ridiculous reanimations that made him come in and exile all your permanents, and it's just something. It was something stupid, but there was a ridiculous combo with it. But yeah, it just makes me sad that the fact that we
Yeah.
never played it right because we didn't realise what permanents were.
No,
But
exactly. I mean, if you could reanimate this guy at instant speed, you could avoid getting board wiped or anything like that.
yeah, exactly.
Crazy cool. That's a cool card.
But yeah, World Gorge Dragon is my card makes you sad. But what about yourself, if any?
One that makes me sad
Yeah,
is what did you say?
I was going to say what card makes you sad, if any? Because I know you love
Oh,
all
if
cards.
any, yeah. I do love all cards, but one card that makes me sad when it comes to the battlefield because it always targets me without fail is Terastodon.
Oh yeah,
And I could tell you three. I'd rather have my multicolored lands than a 3/3 elephant.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I used to hate. What's the other one? We did
Acidic slime. That was at the start. One of the other videos. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
God, they both really annoy me.
Yeah, it's just like, oh really? Because you know it's going to be you because you're the multi-coloured land fella.
Exactly. They're like, who's got the most important lands? Oh yeah, Josh does. Oh great.
Yeah.
And then I'm just basically sat at the table watching other people play Magic.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not great, is it?
No.
Damn. Yeah, I don't blame you there. That's just, I mean, luckily, I mean, nobody really plays with land destruction decks, but
No, I mean it's
just as
something that.
bad.
Yeah, exactly. Land destruction would ruin me, but I mean that's what happens when you play multicolor. But I don't think many people do play land destruction as a commander sort of thing.
No, it's just not fun for
There's
anyone,
certain
really.
types that sort of take the fun out of everything, you know.
Yeah.
Land destruction is one of them.
Eldrazi. Joking. Nah. No, they're a lot more manageable now. To be fair, that's why you don't. That's why you haven't played in a while, actually, have you? To be fair.
No, we played the Ulamog version after chatting about it on here, and it was all right. It wasn't amazing.
No.
I mean, it's indestructible, which is really good, but I mean, Kozilek or Emrakul are better.
Yeah, I mean Emrakul's ridiculous, and then Kozilek's, utility ability is ridiculous, as we've seen on Command Zone when that lady was using it, but that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ulamog's indestructible, but again, he's not within that 2-shot commander range, which is, very, very valuable.
Vital with that kind of deck, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially because in one of the games we got double strike on Ulamog, and I was just like, God, I wish this was in Rackle or something like that, but just what it is.
Yeah, and then we can go. We talked about the 3 Eldrazi's in the last episode as well, just to depicting which one would be good as a commander, but they're all good in different ways. It's just how are you going to get value from it.
But now we've tested it. Yeah, now we've tested it. Definitely, I'd say Ulamog is more of a card in your deck.
Give Kozilek
or Emrakul. Yeah, I think I will. If I don't get another big Eldrazi in the meantime, but we'll see.
I wonder if there's any Eldrazi's in the next set. Probably not. I doubt it.
Nah, no, I don't think so. Roar the Spark, unless suddenly the war ends because the Eldrazi have come back and Record suddenly decided she wants to wake up.
Yeah, nice.
But I doubt that. So we move on to the next one, which is day 26.
So this is your favourite commander, so very relevant to what we do at the moment because a lot of our games are commander at the moment, so very relevant. So you can kick this one off with your favourite commander as is right now or of all
Right, I
time.
have a different yeah, I have a different one on the list from when I wrote this because the more I've played with it, the more I've been like, oh, this is such a cool commander.
Yeah,
So mine is Najila. She
yeah,
is my Najila.
yeah,
She she's low cost, and if you don't remove her, she can just sort of win the game on her own. Really, you don't really have to do much with her. Like your deck doesn't really matter.
yeah. It's quite
Like,
dangerous.
but obviously, if you are warrior tribal, she is very good. Yeah, no, I really like her, especially because if you've got nothing else to play, you still have that ability on her.
No, that's it. Yeah, she's don't. You don't have. There's games sometimes where she's just sat in the command zone because you've drew everything you need, but then
Exactly.
there's also times when you don't draw anything you need and she still becomes a threat on her own. So she's just one of those things that um, gives you value even if you don't have to use it
Yeah,
for the
she's
intended
usable
purpose.
at all times. Essentially,
Yeah, that's
she's
it.
just usable.
Yeah, exactly.
What
Yeah,
about you?
this is a difficult one because I've got so many decks and it's just hard to find which is my favourite. Um, I don't know. It's
It's
difficult.
difficult, isn't it? Because,
Yeah,
like, I mean, if I was to say favorite legendary creature, that would be a commander. I guess I'd probably go with like Skrithix the Blight Dragon or something like that,
yeah. I mean,
just because it's cool. But
yeah. Favourite legendary creature is not actually on this list, but that would be a nice little side topic, I guess.
yeah,
Because yeah, Scriffrix is lovely. He's great.
just awesome art, just awesome card.
Yeah. I think my favourite commander is still Bells and Lock.
Yeah,
Whether that's the legion that he leads or the deck that he's actually commanding, I don't know. But I think
no,
I
that's the
think
hard thing, isn't it?
yeah, that's what I mean. Because I had Slash Arigmecthis as well, the Kraken guy, which
Yeah,
awakes.
which is also really cool. Also a two-hitting commander.
Yeah, yeah. But I just think Bells and Lock, when he goes off really really well. Especially
Yeah, he does.
in
Yeah,
that deck, like when I sometimes draw 10 cards off it, lose a lot of life, but still you draw
it's
stupid cards.
crazy strong though. It's awesome.
But yeah, Bells and Lock's my favourite. Big Black Demon,
Big Black Demon,
which you can see the first episode of the one-on-one, which I'll flash around now. The
which is the Dragon
Demons versus Her
versus.
Dragon. Yeah,
Well, yeah, and the Dragon was actually my card on the list as my favorite one, but it has since fallen to Najila.
yeah, the Her Dragon's good. A good strong choice anyway, though, isn't he? He's good.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Um,
I would love to have that in my deck as well, but it's just
yeah,
not really a space for him. I just That's the thing where you play 5 color decks, you can pretty much play whatever you want, but it's like fine tuning them. That's the difficult thing.
no, definitely.
I always have a pool of like 10 cards that are ever moving round, so I've sort of focused my deck a bit more, and it'll get more and more focused until it's done. But well, it's never done. It's just better, especially with War of the Spark coming out. It's just about to change completely. So it might at one point split between from the Planeswalker Infect thing that it is to pure Infect deck plus, and then another version being the Planeswalker deck.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, there's
Who
going to
knows?
be shed loads of Planeswalkers coming out, so that's going to change a lot of
Oh yeah,
people's.
there's so many.
It's going to
There is
spark a
this
lot of
one
ideas.
that's come out, which is definitely going in my deck, which is um, I'll tell you what it is once it loads up. Is Tezzeret, Master of the Bridge, and his ability once he's 6 mana. Once you play him, creature and planeswalker spells you cast have affinity for artifacts,
Oh wow, that's
so they
horrible.
cost 1 less for each artifact you have.
You'd start running those
He
artifact
also
lands then.
deals X. Yeah, exactly. I'll just bring it back in my artifact lands, and Tezzeret, Master of the Bridge, deals X damage to each opponent, where X is the number of artifacts you control. You gain X life.
Oh wow, that's pretty good.
Just ridiculous.
Pure artifact synergy going on there.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's going to be so OP.
insane. So I mean, that might come in, and then the Planeswalker deck will definitely become more of a Planeswalker deck rather than a semi-infect bounce sort of creature that it is at the moment.
Mm. Constantly
Difficult.
evolves.
Oh yeah, and there's another card for the another card for the Cascade deck that will be coming into it,
Yeah.
which is or potentially even into my main deck, and that card is called. Where is it now? Oh, they've just released Jace as a Planeswalker as a spoiler. But Bolas's Citadel costs 6 mana, which is 3 colorless and 3 black. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may play the top card of your library if you cast a spell this way. Pay life equal to its converted mana cost rather than pay its mana cost. So you literally a brilliant deck card for your deck as well. Literally look at the top card. If you want to play it, pay life instead of paying mana for it.
Oh, wow.
And then it has another bit which says sacrifice 10 non-land permanents. Each opponent loses 10 life.
And what colour is it though?
Black, just mono black.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, that's ridiculous.
It's just awesome.
Yeah, that's so themed on my deck as well. Paying life. That's quality. Is there a spoiler?
Crazy.
Is there a spoiler for that as well? Is there, so I can display it on there?
Yeah, Bolas's Citadel. Yeah, it's
Oh,
new
nice.
spoiler.
Decent. Lovely.
There's another. Jace has just been released as well. It's got a very interesting ability. Won't see much play outside of probably Commander, but
Yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be good, that set, I reckon.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
100%.
hopefully there's some new good legendary creatures as well, because that might spark some new legendary creature ideas.
Oh, 100%.
Hopefully. So yeah, that could be that. You know, you could go into that for ages. Favorite commander. You've got so many different commander decks, and that's why it's great. Is because each one gives you a different flavour. So it's hard to pick one, but they're our favourites at the moment.
Yep.
Day 27 is a card that you want reprinted. So I might as well start this one off with a card I want reprinted, or if it was reprinted, whether it would be allowed to be used. And that was just another nostalgic card for my topic of conversation, and that's Recurring Nightmare, which is a
Oh yeah.
quite a decent card. It's banned though in most formats, I think, because what does it even do? I think it's basically return something from your graveyard to the battlefield, enchantment, and it just comes back to your hand every time.
Recurring Nightmare. Did you say? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so whenever enchanted creature. Oh, I can't remember what it is now, but it's
here we
banned in
go.
Commander, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's an enchantment which costs 3 in total, so 1 black and 2 others, and it's an enchantment, so it stays out. Sacrifice creature, return Recurring Nightmare to its owner's hand, return type creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, activate it only time you'd activate a sorcery. So it's
That's
just
pretty cool, actually.
continued graveyard abuse, basically.
Yeah, I like it. And it's probably not allowed because it's so easily abusable.
Yeah, that's it. And I used to own a few of them back in the day, and before I got rid of the first collection that I had.
Yeah.
I had a few of them, but
You had a few of them at Bristol as well.
yeah, I did. Yeah, I bought them when they were when they weren't reserve list, but now they're reserve list, and they're probably never going to be reprinted again, which is why they're in that reserve list. But if they were reprinted again, it'll probably be a more lower power version of that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'd be
Almost. It's no point unless you're going to use it. There's no point in having the card for us anyway.
No, exactly. But yeah, that choice was really nostalgic purposes reprinted. Maybe I could use it again, maybe I couldn't. But yeah, Day 27. What about you? Reprinted?
I want the fetch lands reprinted so they're more affordable for everyone.
Oh yeah, that would have been a good idea. I should have thought about that.
Just literally, yeah, that's the one I wanted. Like they did with the shock lands that we've just had, which I need to go out and buy a bunch of them whilst they're low. So it's so worth it. And then the fetch lands, exactly the same reason. If they were reprinted, I would just go and buy loads of them whilst they're low priced, because you could just use them in every single deck you have, and they're just brilliant.
What I mean is, for the sake of what they are as well. I mean, I watch videos on Rudy from Alpha Investments, and he says that they never ever lose their value because they're always sought after, those dual lands.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they never lose their value.
So yeah,
No, they'll only gain in value.
That's what I mean. If they do get reprinted, I'm probably going to get some as well. Probably just one of each, because obviously I only play Commander, so you can just switch out the lands that you just have a mana pool. I think I've talked about this before, is where you could just have a mana pool with every single
Yeah.
type of land, like Yavimaya Hollows or Volrath Strongholds, and then dual lands.
Well, this is what Alex has talked about how it's saying that if you've got the card in your collection,
Yeah,
can we just proxy it into another deck so you don't have to keep taking the cards out of each deck? And I think that's a
yeah,
pretty good idea, to be honest, because there's lots of cards that we have one-offs and we don't want to keep taking the decks apart to play them.
yeah. I mean, if Commander's the main format, then yeah, if you own the card, you might as well use it in that one as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But or if you somehow draw your proxy card from your deck, you can just go into your other deck and draw that one card out and use the sleeve that it's in
Oh, exactly. Yeah, that's another option. That's a good idea, actually.
instead of taking the actual land out of your deck. Proxy it if you draw it, and then you can just go
Yeah.
fetch that land from your outside the game and bring
Yeah.
it in with the sleeve that it's in because
100%.
you've already drew it. So
Yeah. So once you've played it, you put it down, you swap the sleeves over.
yeah, we don't even have to swap
And
the
in
sleeves
that
over.
case,
But
and in that case, you don't even have to have a proper arty proxy. You could just have a piece of paper inside saying
yeah,
Yavimaya Hollow, and then you go, okay, that's Yavimaya Hollow. You play it, and you go and get the right one.
yeah, exactly.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Yeah, obviously you have to own it.
Yeah.
In that respect, but it just allows you to play with the cards that you've got in other decks that you've only got one of, like
100%.
you said.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to afford 2 or 3 Teferis, are you?
No, and you want
It's
to
just
run that
silly.
wherever you can, really.
Exactly. Yeah.
And speaking of that, there will be a video going up soon on your brother's present.
Yeah, my brother's present, which we can now reveal
Yeah.
what it is. But maybe we should leave it for the video.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's obvious. It's a Teferi.
Yeah.
He loved it. He loved it. He's been talking about it every single day since.
It's
He got to
cool.
play it earlier on. Didn't last very long because Ugin exiled it, but
Well, yeah, you
that's
don't
what
want to
happens.
leave it around though, do you? It's ridiculous.
No.
But yeah. So that was the cards that we want reprinted, potentially. This is an interesting topic now. Day 28, a card that you want to own.
Yeah, man, mine always changes on this. There's so many cards I want to own.
Yeah.
I mean, this would have been like half a year ago. This would have been easy. I would have said Celestial Colonnade.
Yeah.
But now I don't know. Maybe I don't know a Khan. Maybe. Oh no, I'd go with Imrakul Aeon's Torn. That's what I'd like to own. Aeon's Torn.
Just to say you got it.
Yeah, the three Eldrazi's, they would probably be the cards that I'd want.
I mean, Emrakul's a banned commander, but can he be used in anything else?
Yeah, and any other format is fine, apart from standard, obviously. But
That's mental.
it's Griselbrand. He's allowed to be used in every other ones except Commander ban list, unfortunately.
Yeah, I guess it's just abusing it, innit? You went really, really robotic then as well, so that'll be funny. On the, he was like, but yeah, I think you still got your point across, even though you were speaking in Terminator.
Yeah.
God. Yeah. So yeah, definitely, I would own an Emrakul as well if I could, but just to say that I've got it, but I'd never use it. I never would use it. Well, I can't because it's unplayable in the format that I only play. But
yeah, exactly.
I think anyone would be happy pulling one of those out of a booster pack.
100%.
And as you just said there, Griselbrand is one of the ones I wanted to own. Whether that's in a promo form or card form, I probably just will own one at some point.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I'll never get to use it, which is a shame. But
Then we move on to day 29.
Yeah, I mean, this is the notes that I made on my one for this one have changed since. But if you just go with, it is my turn, isn't it?
Yeah. I'll go if you want to. I don't mind.
Yeah, go on, and you go then, because I might have to rethink
something. What was day 29 again?
A card that you're always trying to build with.
Celestial Colonnade.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I'll link this with 2 other ones. There's a couple of modern decks that I want to build. 2 very different strategies. So first one is Celestial Colonnade, and I'll have stuff like Thopter Foundry and Sword of the Meek in it.
Yeah.
and that'll be a very cool deck. Very very interesting. Um, Actually, there's another deck. There's three modern decks that I'm looking at building. So there's Thopter Foundry Sword of the Meat combo with Celestial Colonnade in it.
Hmm.
The other one is Eldrazi Kea, the Usurper, and essentially what I'll be doing there is exiling the opponent's graveyards and stuff from the field, and then eventually use Kea's ultimate to deal X damage to them, where X is the number of cards they have in in exile. She's very easy to get to that as well because
Yeah,
she starts on 3. She costs 3 mana. You plus 1 up her, and you exile 2 cards from their graveyard.
yeah,
So that's a really really cool card. Mix in with the
nice.
Eldrazi and a few different like Wasteland Stranglers and stuff like that. Very cool idea. The other one I'm looking at is Go Rose Vengeance and Grizzlebrand sort of deck. Definitely is on my radar.
Oh yeah, just
If I am going to go and play modern at a tournament, those are the ones I would probably play. What about you?
my favourite. Well, my card I'm always trying to build with, should I say, is Thantis, the War Weaver. I want to make a commander deck with her as the commander, and she's a legendary spider that
Yeah,
makes combat a necessity every turn, as long as she's out. Um,
yeah, she's a really, really cool.
yeah, again, it's a really really bizarre game to play if you always have to attack, because you sometimes don't always want to attack. You want to play conservative, and she just forces combat. But I've just
Yeah,
never made a deck with her yet, because I don't know whether it's going to be a spider tribal or something else, or that's I just don't know how to build it. I don't know what cards to use with it.
thought about, and I mean, it's also sitting down and working out how it's going to work reliably.
Yeah, yeah,
That
exactly.
takes time.
It is quite a chaosy element deck though. Wouldn't it would be quite chaosy in that sense, because you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know what to expect from other people's creatures, so it is quite a chaosy deck. So I might just make it even more chaosy.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, but yeah, I might just make it a chaos deck. To be fair, there's a lot of
Nothing wrong with it. Yeah.
yeah, because no one runs a chaos deck yet, so I might have to do it. I might have to be the first one that does it.
Yeah, I mean, you got plenty of cards that instill chaos anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Thantis War Weaver is one I'm always trying to build with. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I think once you get it sorted, it'll be awesome.
yeah, I
There's
mean,
um there's a few cool cards that basically there's this armor that you could probably put in that deck, which is like battle armor, and at the beginning of your up of someone's upkeep, you can give the creature attached to that armor to another player, and they can attack other people. Uh, but they can attack with it, but they can't attack you. They have to attack other people.
similar to
But it has like life link.
that Lightning Rager card, similar to that.
Yeah, very similar. It's very cool.
Ah,
So I mean, it's so like basically you're be give us card back anyway. So um, yeah, very, very cool.
yeah, I have to look at it at some point. It's just a lot of lot of different cards that I don't actually own that would need to be built around it. Um,
Oh,
but
100%. Yeah.
but yeah, it's just the mechanic that's awesome. Um, Great, and the final day of the MTG Challenge. I'm not sure whether the actual challenge has reached this point yet, but by the time it releases, I'm sure it probably would have done. Is a card with tons of sentimental value, and mine goes back to the very very first episode and the very very first topic um, of the discussion. And is it my go to speak about it, or can't remember?
I think I went first last time, so yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, so if anyone's listening and has listened to the first episode, the very very first topic was your favourite Magic card, and this very much links into a card of tons of sentimental value. It's just when I discovered Magic again for the first time in a long time, and the first one of the major beat sticks of the insect deck was Vorapede.
Oh yeah.
That's a card of tons of sentimental value for me, because he was just doing a lot of work back in those janky days of Insect Tribal, which is now living on in a new Commander deck, which is doing all right. Did get its first win the other day, but I forgot to record it, which is a shame.
Ah,
But you were
it was
playing
a bit
that
of a
game as
shame,
well.
wasn't it?
But yeah,
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I just didn't record.
Yeah, I don't think your deck really. It didn't really do much that game, though, did it? To be fair, which is
No.
probably. And then we were playing. We were playing with Tom as well. I can't remember what deck he was using at the time. I can't remember which one it was. Was it the Atraxa one that he was using? Can't remember.
Oh yeah, he was using Atraxa in that game. Yeah, he was. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was in the Atraxa precon.
yeah, it's not a bad deck for the sake of a precon.
Oh, definitely not. I mean, the price of those precons really high now.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just a card with loads of sentimental value for me because it just incites lots of good memories. What about yourself?
Lots of good memories. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Mine is Primordial Hydra. Just
Ah,
love that card.
similar sort of period then.
Yeah, the Bristol period.
Yeah.
Just it's just, when I first saw this card, it's just so. And I just wanted to be a Hydra tribal all the time.
Yeah.
That was my. And then I slowly mixed into black green, and that's when Creekwood Liege came out, and I was just like, wow,
Yeah.
this is awesome.
Yeah, I remember those days. Primordial Hydra. Basically Varel. It's basically Varel of the whole clay doubling himself basically every turn.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
exactly. And with Corpse Jack Menace, he just goes mental.
yeah. I mean, Hydra's was just one of those things that would go in that any sort of +1 deck, really. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much the MTG
That is
challenge.
it.
That is it.
Is indeed.
So I hope,
I hope you enjoyed it.
yeah, hope everyone
Yeah,
who's listened likes the format because we'll be doing it again with a different topic next time, probably the War of the Spark, some sort of War of the Spark discussion, and looking at
yeah, definitely.
the trailers and the potential cards or even spoilers. Now, if spoilers have been released, I'll be interested in looking at
Yeah.
what's been released there. But
So and we'll talk to them in regards to modern and commander and all sorts of things, I guess.
oh,
Um,
definitely, yeah,
and I think something also to mention is that we won't be doing potentially won't be doing these over 3 episode stuff very often, so it'll be more like one shot.
yeah.
Um, and we'll just talk about it for maybe 30 minutes to an hour, and
Yeah.
hopefully like our sort of insight of what our specific play groups he'll have an effect on, etc.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, obviously, it'd be worth speaking about the commander and modern and standard iterations of those cards as well, whether they'll be used in whatever format.
Definitely.
Nice. Well, thanks for tuning in to the MTG challenge. This has been the last segment of the venture. Been joined by
The Venture, Mr. Joshua Dunn.
that's it.
All
But
right. Thanks for tuning in, and tune in next time for some more talk, chat, and
yeah,
general reminiscing most of the time.
that's it. Yeah. See you next time.
Bye.